Alright YouTube, so we're back, of course, to talk about kind of FF7. Before we hop into the video, I do want to say, I know the uploads have been very, very sporadic for a while, for the last probably couple of months. It's due to like a little bit personal reasons, a little bit of family health issues, things like that. But also the motivation's just kind of not been there, maybe because of that. But before long, we're going to get back in the swing of things. There's plenty of like discussions and videos I want to make. We just kind of haven't had that motivation lately, that drive. And obviously, as we get closer to Rebirth, I'm not saying we're going to wait till Rebirth, like announcements or anything like that, to start doing more videos. But when we get closer to Rebirth and they start marketing for that game, we'll be making all kinds of videos. As long as it's possible, we'll get back into making daily videos, probably. Anyways, on to the discussion for today's video. So we're talking about Takahiro Sakurai again, who's of course the Japanese voice actor for Cloud. I said we wouldn't talk about this again unless it directly pertained to FF7. And while what we're talking about today doesn't directly involve FF7, it still might in a roundabout way. Because it's being reported right now that apparently his wife is taken aback. So it's on the feed on Twitter, and it says, apparently Takahiro Sakurai's wife forgave him for his behavior, reportedly from Women's Weekly Prime Report. In an interview, the couple's close neighbors said that they are still living together, that things appear to be going well now. And this actually isn't the only time this has been reported. I'd seen something either yesterday or the day before, but going through my phone, I didn't screenshot it. I didn't like it on Twitter, so I don't know who said it or what exactly it said. But I remember something along the lines of his wife taking him back. And it caused me to Google Takahiro Sakurai. And it's actually how I discovered that, until I learned that he's actually lost another voice acting role since we did the last video discussing this. And I think it's important to talk about just because, as we discussed with the previous video on this, that some people think he's like untouchable, he's just too prominent of a voice actor, too popular, you can't replace him, and at least with a couple of these roles, that's not the case. Now, so far it's been like upcoming projects, right? The last anime he was fired from, this one that he's fired from, these are upcoming animes, so it's a little bit different. We've yet to see him lose any like legacy roles, right? Like any of the animes and stuff that he's been working on, like Demon Slayer, or Mob Psycho, or whatever the case, and obviously the role of Cloud Strife. Like none of these roles he's been doing for at least a while. I'm not sure exactly. I don't keep up with like his history on anime and stuff, so I don't know how long he's been attached to those projects, but so far it's just been upcoming animes. The main thing or main problem with this discussion that I have is the wife. Like, I kind of understand it because they're together for like 20 years or whatever the case, but like, I don't understand. Like, the guy was cheating on me for like half your marriage, right? With potentially, with the last video we learned, there's a third woman involved and potentially more. There's people that were reporting that they had heard that he'd been like hooking up with other like voice actors and things like that on other projects. So potentially countless women that he's been cheating on you with for the last 20 years potentially, right? For who knows how much of your marriage. So I don't understand why you'd take him back. Like I understand people work through problems in their marriages. People cheat, right? Sometimes people cheat and they work through it. Like the husband cheats, the wife takes him back, and they go on and live a happily ever after, right? He never cheats again. Like that's a thing that happens, right? But this guy's been cheating for a very long time. It wasn't just one mistake. And there's been multiple women over the course of half or more of your marriage. And again, I don't necessarily falter, right? Because I've not been in a 20-year relationship, a 20-year marriage, or whatever the case. But me, for myself, like I have enough respect for myself that if I found that out, right, half of my marriage was a sham, if not more than that, it'd be done. That's it. That's all. Like, I'm done with you. Like, what the fuck? You wasted my life. Like, so I just don't understand that type of shit. I get that some people want to work through it, but for me, it's just like, it's too much. Like, even like a single night of cheating is too much for me, much less 10 goddamn years. But why we're bringing this up and discussing it is that obviously the wife in the situation is like the biggest victim, right? Like, she's the biggest victim here. And if she's willing to forgive him and take him back and they're working through it and they're still together and all of this shit, the odds of him losing any major roles are pretty damn low, if not just zero. Because when it comes to like these companies and also just the general public, like if the wife is forgiving him, then like, why would they replace him, right? Like, they don't need to replace him if she's going to forgive him. If there's, like, a long, drawn-out, like, lawsuit or relationship breakup, divorce, all that other stuff, like, they'd maybe consider it, but I think now, I don't think we're going to see him ever replaced, at least in the major roles that he does, like Cloud Strife. And that's really the major reason why we're doing this video. I also just want to put some content out there, just have a discussion with you guys, but the fact that the wife is forgiving him, like, I don't foresee a future where they replace him as Cloud Strife, at least for the remake project. Maybe sometime after that, but that's also going to be years down the road, and this is going to be forgotten about for the most part. So I did say with the previous video that we wouldn't keep making like Sakurai videos and updates and things like that when he loses roles, and we'd only talk about it again when it directly involves FF7. And while this doesn't directly involve FF7, I think it adds a major point to the discussion, right? Because if she's staying with him, then I just don't think he's ever going to get fired from major roles or any sort of roles he's been doing for, X amount of years or whatever. But of course, I won't pass up to you guys. So I know a good portion of people that watch these videos like to separate the art from the artist, and they don't think that he should be punished for what he does outside of his job. And I get that argument, and that's perfectly fine if you believe that. But for those that think that there should be maybe some repercussions from this, or whatever the case, what are your thoughts on the wife taking him back? Like, what would you do in that situation? That's another question we could ask for this video. If you're with somebody, married, dating, whatever, and you find out they've been cheating on you for half of that relationship, like, what would you do? Would you take them back? Because I imagine most people wouldn't. Like, it's just kind of crazy to me, personally. Other than dudes, that is going to be the video. Subscribe to me if you guys are new. Social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, _DavidYT. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Rogaine, or leave it like Cobain.